Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks. I'm Richie Moon,
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
and this is Kayfabe Avenue. Gentlemen, what do you want to talk about, man? We hot off Elimination Chamber. We had a busy week in wrestling, man. What do we started off with?
Well, let's dive right into the chamber then. Let's talk about what the fans are completely bitching about, going over the top with their
Hold on.
expectations.
My bad. I don't mean to cut your knowledge. Before we get into what people are bitching about, what did everybody enjoy? Let's start off on a
The
positive.
chamber was
What?
enjoyable.
Yeah. How do we feel
I,
about it? How do we
to
feel
tell you
about
the
the chamber?
truth, it was a pretty good chamber. Both chamber matches was good. Anything that anybody has to say is basically nitpicking, in my opinion. The only issue I have is the crowd.
The crowd was a bit quiet. I don't know if I can blame the crowd for that. It's Chicago. Chicago's usually a hot crowd like New York, Philly. I enjoyed the chamber. I don't like WWE's pacing, but I thought the wrestling was good. I thought Becky and AJ was. I
Okay,
have my critiques to that, but you
let,
know what?
let, let's
That's
go
a
back.
positive. CM Punk,
Let's
CM
go
Punk, and
back.
Finn Balor,
Let's
CM
go
Punk and Finn
back.
Balor.
Let's just go
I really
back
enjoyed that
because
match.
now you were
Let's
I
go
just
really
back.
running
enjoyed
down
CM
the
Punk.
chamber again,
Mm,
and that's the basis of the show, right? We just ended up running down the chamber.
mm.
What people are talking about was their expectations for this reveal of the box, right? Even people like O'Shea Jackson talking about all the weeks that this been built, bro. It was built 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks
yeah,
ago, the reveal
yeah.
of hey, there's a box here. 3 episodes in between, then the reveal. That's half a month. That's 2 weeks of television. What are y'all talking about? They didn't say nothing about, oh, there's a person in the box. They didn't allude to what's in it, nothing. They had a whole commercial about some whole other shit in regards to ESPN in front of the box and didn't allude
So
to
are
much of what's in it.
people
Anybody who keeps
disappointed, upset?
saying it was Chris Jericho, you're not paying attention. You're not
No.
paying attention. Your man's is still on the AEW roster page. Your man's just booked a match in like a couple of weeks. Come on, bro. Get with the
And
program.
then on
Stop
top
with
of
this
that,
fantasy booking shit.
Chris Jericho has a tour. Like, come on. And then he's doing Rock and Rager. Another time, you think WWE was gonna let him do that? Like, he has to finish all of this year's commitments before he can even come to WWE. Like, anybody who says, "Oh, it's Jericho," "Oh, it's Jericho," like, come on, bro. You're not being realistic. You don't know about timelines. You don't know anything about logistics. And it's like, yo, bro, we're too old and too experienced to see that, oh, it's Chris Jericho. It's Chris Jericho. First of all, Chris Jericho does vignettes. He doesn't fucking debut in a box. Like he's some
Yeah.
kind of fucking action figure.
That's all
This
I
is
was
the
gonna
shit.
say. Like,
Good.
why would he debut in a box? Like for all the logistics, let's just put it in a strictly kayfabe world. Why would Chris Jericho debut in a box?
Makes no
Come on,
sense.
bro.
The
Like,
yo, for the moment we saw the box, we was already like, all right, bet. Seems like Danhausen is about to debut in the box.
Or
Literally.
or it
Who
could
was
have
look at
this?
been
that.
Who was the second
The
option?
Andre the Giant statue.
That would have been cool.
Those
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy if they did that. But I remember specifically Focus said in the group chat, that's the most Danhausen thing they can do. It's
It
like him
is.
debuting the box.
We
And it was
instantly
like,
was like, we between us three in the chat, we had that little debate because you questioned it as far as is that even make sense for him to debut it, and me and Focus like, hell yeah, that's like the best way you could debut him. It's directly in line with Danhausen. So now
yeah, it is.
all the fans that are upset about Danhausen, you're on two. You're on two spectrums. Either one, your expectation was way too high. You were unrealistic in who the person would be, if a person at all. They never said it was a person.
Never alluded to it at
Like,
all.
and then
It was just a
all
box.
this hype and all this
Just a
build.
box.
2 weeks. Jericho's Millennium Clock lasted 6 months. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They did not build hype for this. They said it's a
But
mystery. Here's a mystery for 2
people
weeks.
people can't get upset because their fantasy booking didn't work out. Because their
Right.
fantasy booking didn't work out. You can't get upset about that. That's crazy.
And it's
And
like, yo, if your fantasy booking doesn't work out, that's why you got to tune into Kayfabe Avenue, where we tell you exactly what's gonna happen, because we actually are 99.9% right on everything that we say.
that's
Uh-huh.
not insider information. A lot of it's speculation, but well informed speculation, because we've been watching this shit. We watched the patterns of wrestling for over 30 years at this damn point. Like,
Right.
And
the
it,
patterns are there, and with all the dirt sheets and all the news that WWE willingly offers themselves, you can deduce 90% of what's gonna happen, over 90% of what's gonna happen, or who's gonna be involved. People
And
pay
sometimes,
attention to timelines
right.
and bookings and tour dates. Pay attention to stuff like that. That
like
Chris
people
Jericho
It's
close
shit
not
was
always a
not
bad thing.
realistic for that timeline, especially
Yeah.
with the news of them possibly freezing his contract because he owed time to AEW. This news that's out there. So the other spectrum of what the fans are the casuals that know nothing about Danhausen, that didn't watch him
Mm-hmm.
in AEW, that don't watch the indies. Those are the only two reasons you could be upset. But fan expectation, y'all need to start. I see what Rich tried to do in the beginning of the episode. Let's start positive. Let's get the good vibes flowing. But we have one of the best and the worst community fandoms in like almost any genre. You guys hate the wrestlers when they give you exactly what you want, and you hate them when they don't give you what you want. Why
You
don't
know
you
what
sit
it
back
is?
and enjoy the
Because
perfect thing to like happen? What you said,
uh,
as far as fan expectation is, it's like Game of Thrones. You're mad at the fantasy booking of what you thought Game of Thrones was gonna happen, not sat back and observed what actually happened, or the
yeah,
details of what they were actually hinting towards. We wanted
yeah.
a better option for Jon Snow in this situation. You wanted a better option for the box. When you got the reveal, don't boo this man's debut because you don't know who he is, or you thought it was a legend.
That was kind of crazy.
It's
a over
disrespectful.
That was
50,
Danhausen
surprising.
is
It was
a
great.
over
Chicago.
50 legend, a
It
over
was
50 legend.
Chicago.
You
I,
know what? I want people to mark my fucking words. In a few weeks, in a few months' time, when Danhausen is that hilarious fixture in your life, when it comes to WWE, I want your asses to eat crow and apologize for booing this man on his debut. You guys weren't loud the whole night. Besides CM Punk, you weren't loud the whole night, but you want to throw the booze in after you realize this is the person.
okay, I gotta ask the question though. I gotta ask the question, and I'm just asking the question. Is it an indictment on WWE's booking, or a look down on the Chicago crowd? Because when CM Punk came out, oh, they got loud. When Trick Williams came out, they got loud. When AJ Lee came out, they got loud. They pick and choose who they wanted to get loud for. So is that
No,
WWE's
no,
fault
it's
or
not the booking. It's not the booking because how can you book something wrong that you didn't promise anything about? This was an
yeah?
added piece to the
Oh,
show.
oh
This
yeah, the
wasn't a
Danhausen thing. Yeah,
storyline.
that's yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
wasn't a
That's not.
storyline fixture. This wasn't a a world championship impacting mystery.
No,
This was
no, no,
something that they
I'm
added two
speaking.
weeks before the program. You really thought it
I'm
was gonna
speaking more
be
toward the show. I'm speaking
as
more
far
toward
as the
the
overall
Danhausen.
show.
Yeah. I'm speaking more toward because the
It's the
Danhausen
I
thing.
fans.
Yeah,
feel,
It's the
I feel
fans.
the fans was dead. I feel the fans was dead
The
throughout the
fans
whole
was
show.
dead.
They all pop for like the when they come in, But when it came to the matches and stuff like that, where was the chance? Where was the clapping? Where was the stomping? Where was all of
First
that?
of
Is
And
all,
I
that
we
feel
all right?
started
But
off
here it is.
with the women's
That's my question.
elimination chamber.
Is that the fans, or is
yes,
that they
The
did not
fans.
like
yes,
what they were
it was
seeing?
the fans. So if you don't like what you see,
That's
then
what I'm
stop
saying.
watching
Like I thought it
wrestling.
was okay, but I don't think the fans necessarily really like what they're seeing. Like,
If they don't like what they're
cause
seeing,
they got loud when
go
for
stop being a wrestling
but for
fan
the
and go
rest of the
watch
night,
something
it
else.
seemed like they were kind of sitting on
That,
their
but
Because there was
hands.
nothing
see,
wrong with the card, nothing wrong with the
nothing
matches.
was wrong with the
Everything was
matches or the
good.
card. Nothing was wrong with the matches or the card. In fact,
So
when we get to that,
nope.
I'll speak more on it. But I feel like they turn a lot of negative into positives with the outcomes of this chamber pay-per-view. They did a lot right, and they did not stick to what the expectation was, which, you know what, in WrestleMania season, in a place where a lot of things are going wrong with injuries left and right, it's good that we got some excitement and some unpredictability that was actually good. Starting off with the women's elimination chamber, you're trying to tell me Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana, Raquel, they didn't show out in that first chamber?
That was a
Arguably,
fire
the
chamber.
women stole the chambers. In my opinion, the women have been stealing almost every big multi-person
Yeah,
matchup, and
yeah.
arguably, we could we could go back and forth in this. Anybody, and I'll die on this hill. They've stolen every single multi-person match this year, 2025 and whatever 2026 so far. They have been showing out, have been the most well-produced match on the card. So if you're not starting out hot with them, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you. First of all, shouts out to Raquel Rodriguez, the MVP of the women's chamber,
MVP Backwell.
showed and proved why the development throughout this whole year with her character is paying off.
It
Dominant in the
definitely is.
chamber. You know, in the last show that I did solo without you guys, I was running down the card and I'm like, damn, looking at this women's chamber, this shit looks predictable.
Nice.
Rhea Ripley was a tag team champion at the time. Alexa Bliss is in a tag team.
You called
Asuka's
it.
in a tag team.
Yeah,
Kiana's
you
a
called it.
Kiana's a low card, trying to get raised up. Raquel
She did a good job
Rodriguez,
too.
you know, I predicted this was going to be a straight run for Tiffany Stratton. That was my prediction. Once on SmackDown, Rhea Ripley dropped the tag team titles. I was like, oh, okay, something might happen. I still think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton due to the Jade connection, her dropping the title to Jade, not getting that rematch yet. It made sense to me. But Rhea Ripley pulling off the win in a surprise, that was a swerve I wasn't expecting. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like,
You thought I was a swerve with Rhea Ripley winning?
well, as far as the trajectory of where the story looked like it was going, what made the most sense? Rhea Ripley's on Raw. Rhea Ripley's in a tag team with Io. She just dropped. Maybe she wants to go back and challenge again in a multi-woman tag team championship match, which I think is where they're heading with it. So while I was a little shaken at SmackDown, like, oh shit, my number one choice, the clear path to Tiffany, is maybe not so clear, but I still think storyline wise they're gonna go with Tiffany. So yeah, for me, Rhea pulling off the win was a swerve. Them being the last two, I called that shit. Like,
Yeah, you did. You did.
but
The reason
that
why
match
it
was
wasn't
amazing.
the reason why it wasn't a swerve for me is because they did Tiffany and Jade already, and that's a big money match. Rhea and Jade is a big money match. Title, no title, Mania, no Mania. So the fact that it's the title and Mania, yeah, you can't. That's a big money match. So like, why not go with that? I thought yeah, why not? I thought I don't know why the crowd. I don't know. I don't have an answer for why the crowd was quiet.
There's
I
only
know that
one. There's only one
from our
place.
experience,
There's
from
only
our
one place
experience.
for me in this
Mhm.
whole entire car. Sorry to cut you off. That I'm gonna give the benefit to the fans, but we'll get to that. But what you were
I
saying?
think
But yo, all I
some,
want to
some
say, Backwell does a Tahada bomb. on Oscar onto who was it? Kiana?
Kiana.
Yeah,
Double stacked them
Bro, I
like the
pinned
tribal
both of
chief.
them. Pinned both. Come on,
both of
come
them,
on,
both
come
of
on.
them,
And there was no big pop on that. Come
both of
on.
them,
That's how you know
both
the
of them.
crowd was whack.
But here's the thing: from our experience from being at a live crowd, sometimes it doesn't just doesn't translate. Like sometimes, like we are loud in our section, and people around us are loud, but it just
So
does
then,
not translate in
with
the
that,
whole building.
the issue would be production and not so much
N-
booking or the fans. If it's an audio
No,
situation, cool. But then you get a CM Punk entrance and it blows the roof off. So it doesn't make
it's
sense.
interesting. It's interesting what they were very picky and choosy what they wanted to cheer for and what they didn't want to cheer for. They definitely did not cheer. There was not big pops for the parts that we at home were thinking would be like. It was kind of like, oh, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So I definitely felt that a couple times watching it.
Here's the things that I feel like they did right in the women's chamber. Giving Kiana James the spotlight that she did. She looks strong.
Very strong.
She's the up and comer, so now she looks believable, even tussling with the rest of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So good job for Kiana James. Raquel Rodriguez, dominant, had to get pretty much double teamed to get eliminated.
Yeah.
She came out losing, but looking strong. There's two people that
Yeah.
came out of that situation. Everybody else, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, kind of shaky. Tiffany
I
obviously
really
being
want
the
to,
last person standing
Alexa
with
Bliss.
Rhea. It was a
Alexa
great
Bliss got a
match.
big pop. Alexa Bliss got a big pop in a pretty quiet crowd. Alexa Bliss got a big pop. I look. It's they're probably gonna do something with her and Charlotte, but I was kind of pulling for Alexa Bliss, but you know, yeah.
But yeah, so Rhea Ripley ends up winning this. So we get Jade versus Rhea at WrestleMania,
Money
which, like you said,
match.
is a big money match. Any last thoughts on the women's elimination chamber?
No.
All right. So the next matchup was the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee.
Oh, ladies hour.
They went in.
Yeah, they definitely did. I will say this. I will say this. I do as a producer, and this is me being nitpicky and just me being a wrestler and having some experience in the wrestling business. If I was a producer of that match, I wish that AJ Lee was more scrappy and like she would use the fact that she hasn't wrestled a match. And I mean, yeah, she wrestled a WrestlePalooza out in September, but like that was like a run. She hasn't been on a run in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I wish they could have used more of that in the match. She could have had more of like a scrappy style, more than like her trying to do like this technical. It's just like, yo, you haven't wrestled in 10 years. Like use that in the story. You know what I'm saying? I wish they
Well,
could have used more of
I
that,
think
but
they
I feel
did.
they
like
did like
They,
three.
I feel like they did do that because every time when she tried to do the Black Widow, you could see that she was struggling trying to fully lock it in.
and they did mention in those moments that it's been a long time, but it wasn't just that. They showed it in the way that the match overall was going. Becky was dominating. Becky was like hitting everything on her, and she was resilient through the whole time, but she wasn't dominating Becky. There was a point where she
Yeah,
made Becky tap. The referee wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
Then
the
they went
ref was
into
good.
the
Yeah,
sequence again, and eventually she got her to tap for real. But the majority of that match was all Becky Lynch. So
and the only reason why she lost was because that crooked referee Jessica Carr, she stopped AJ Lee from going to the exposed corner, but yet let Becky go
you know
hit the
what?
corner. It was just fine.
What
I
I was
mean,
thinking in
Every
the
and
middle,
everybody and the thing that really hits me is that everybody's talking about it. We're talking about it. The fans is talking about it. I'm talking about it. Even Sports Illustrated is talking about it. And it's like, yo, bro, what's going on with this referee, Jessica Carr? She should get suspended
what I
without
was
pay immediately.
what I was thinking in the middle of this match, and I want to shout out because this doesn't happen really often. We all see the referee sequences where they get knocked out, but this was finally well fucking done. The
yeah, well,
referee was believably attacked, believably put out of the match. So shouts out to Jessica Carr for that. But
Crooked
yeah,
Jessica
everybody's
Carr.
saying what they're saying about Becky Lynch or whatever the case may be.
No, it was a good match. I was just being nitpicky, but I thought it was a good match.
But yeah, so
I
she
was surprised
wins
it went. I
10 years.
will say I am surprised that they did go for the. I thought they were going to extend it out. I mean, they could still do something at Mania, but I did think that Becky was going to win that first one-on-one match, and then eventually, like at Mania, she would face her again, and then get the big W. Then, but that's the way I would have done it. And
That's
I
that's
think
that's the way I would have won it. Get that heat
yeah,
in Chicago, her losing
exactly,
by Becky pulling some bullshit. But
exactly.
I do get why they did it because I don't know. WWE's also gotten into this kind of bad stigma where they want to kind of pamper the hometown hero or the legend in the moment and like
It used to
give
be
him
opposite.
all the accolades so the fans we can see that cheering for him. Like this was all about CM Punk. This was all about AJ Lee and CM Punk being the power couple, which was mentioned like 15 times on
I don't,
commentary.
I don't mind it being all about CM Punk. No disrespect to AJ. It's not a knock on CM. She was busy. She had other business outside of wrestling. CM Punk has been here. He's been walking the walk and talking the talk. He's been a fighting champion. He's been defending. CM Punk deserves that. I'm not saying that AJ Lee doesn't deserve that, but for a person to your point, hampering somebody from the hometown, CM Punk did deserve this. AJ Lee definitely could have took the loss here and get the bigger win at Mania, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I definitely agree. I don't think they should have went with the let's boost up the image of because that's really what it is. We can sell posters. We can sell
Yeah,
this image of the it couple with the championships and in the hometown, and we're gonna make it even more
yeah,
historic by mentioning that this is the first time he's wrestled here in over 10 years as a WWE superstar, which people need to learn how to read because online they're complaining, oh, but they didn't mention that he was here at AEW. And one, they said as a WWE superstar.
WWE superstar. Now, yeah,
Read,
that's
people, please read.
as an
Like,
AEW wrestler.
I don't
Comprehension.
understand.
Comprehension.
I don't
Comprehension is
understand. Like, no
The
child left
worst thing George
behind.
Bush ever did. There's no child left
Yo,
behind.
no child left behind. You was on the same page with me. We need to. That was not planned either. Like, literally, no child left behind is the worst thing that happened to America. Next to a couple of other things, but
Because clearly some of you guys should have been left behind.
Jesus, it's like spelled out right there for you. So speaking of CM Punk and this image and the thing that we're gonna sell, I think to my past point I was alluding to, this is the only place in the entire card where I can say I understand the fans. If they weren't cheering as much or if they felt like, maybe a predictability was the issue in this because CM Punk versus Finn Balor,
Baylor.
one hell of a fucking match, but not one point in this match. I don't care how many coup de grace, I don't care how good he looked. Pin Balor was getting
Baylor.
pinned. This I knew this weeks ago. I knew this when they mentioned he was giving him the match in Ireland. I knew it wasn't gonna happen then. I knew it wasn't gonna happen then, and it wasn't gonna happen yesterday. And you know what I did? I took my replica title and I was holding this shit up. Focus is sitting on. I'm like, he's never gonna have this belt. It's not believable. Buy one like I did. You're not going to win this anymore. Not in this position. You don't deserve to be inserted in the match with a tribal chief. You enjoy the check and catering. You enjoy the check and catering.
Damn.
If we keep in the kayfabe, you enjoy the check and catering. You have not cared about a world title in over 5 years. You have been on the coattails of every single leader of the Judgment Day for 5 years. Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, You thought you would have
The
been the leader, but no,
Undisputed
it's
Era.
Dom. No, it's Dom. And then you'd have thought you'd have been the leader after Dom. No, it's Liv. No, it's Liv. Then Liv gets injured. Dom gets injured. No, it's Raquel. No, it's Raquel. I'm tired of making excuses for Finn Balor. It's not believable.
Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
Pinn Balor. I do not believe it anymore. I'm tired. And it's the same thing with LA Knight. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I don't believe anymore. I don't believe Finn Balor's going to pull off the big one. And I'm frustrated as a fan. Vince is gone. What is the excuse? Triple H was high on Finn Balor in NXT. What is the excuse? He's been a part of the biggest stable in years. We can argue. We can really argue with the different iterations of Judgment Day that they could be one of the greatest stables in history of WWE, competing with like a Bloodline and maybe then a DX. But what are we talking about here? The Judgment Day hasn't broken up in over 5 years. And they don't have to. But you've never been the champ. You've never been the guy.
That might be the problem. They need, this Judgment Day story needs to wrap up. We need to wrap this up.
It ain't the Judgment Day, brother. It's Pinn Balor. I believe in JD McDonough as a tag team champion. I believe in Dominic as an IC champion and the Mega Campeon champion. I believe in Raquel as a future world champion, especially after the Elimination Chamber. I believe in Liv Morgan, who's been a multiple women's champion. I believe in everybody who used to be a leader in the Judgment Day because they've been champion.
Except for Edge.
You know what? Bring back Carlito. I'll believe in him more. Bring back Carlito, and I believe he'll be champion before Pinn Balor. I'm tired.
Yo, man.
I'm tired. When are we
gonna
stop?
He should have just followed Edge. He should have just followed Edge.
When are we gonna stop,
AEW.
bro? If anybody needed AEW, it was Finn Balor. If anybody needed it, bro, go back to NXT. Do we really need him in NXT so he can see gold? Do we really need that? Do we really?
And that would be the third time. That would be the third time.
The Prince again.
That would be the third time.
Here's the deal.
And it's not Kayfabe aside, right? It's not a knock on Prince Devitt. It's not a knock on Finn Balor, the person, the wrestler. He's amazing. The booking has got him to the point where I would never believe in his character again.
Bro. Because, you was cooking right there. You was cooking.
I'm just sick and tired of year after year, Finn Balor or someone like him gets put in a position where they want to make you think. I don't give a fuck if Finn Balor is in his hometown. You're a fucking loser. Your character is a loser. You've been booked as a fucking loser. Why I'm gonna believe? Why do I even want this running into Mania, bro? Why am I gonna get distracted with this bullshit? Really? Why am I gonna get distracted with this? Because we want another title. We want another title defense on CM Punk's belt. So we could say he's a fighting champ, and we can say that he had enough defenses leading up to Roman Reigns. Is that really what it is? It's too obvious.
Yes.
It's too fucking obvious.
Yes.
Why don't you face Gunther leading into WrestleMania? Why don't you beat Gunther on the way to the Tribal Chief? Why don't you shut his mouth and stop his little momentum real quick and shut him up and get that payback? Because ain't nobody shutting him up. Ain't nobody got that payback for Cena, who the fans already forgot. Nobody's giving that about AJ Styles. They're already like, oh, AJ, Hall of Fame. Well, congratulations. We don't care anymore. Thanks. Nobody's shutting up Gunther. What is Gunther doing leading to WrestleMania? We could have got that. I would have believed.
It's not. First of all, you can't even say. You can't even say. Whoa! You can't even say who's booking this crap because it's been 5 years. Even before Triple H took over the reins, he was still trash, bro.
Listen,
That's what
here,
I said.
no, hold on, hold on,
Where
hold
is
on, hold on, hold on,
Vince is
You
gone.
hold
can't
on.
even blame Triple H.
Nah, let me defend Finn Balor. Let me defend Finn Balor. Here it is.
Okay.
Here it is. Because I'm about to defend Finn Balor right now. Finn Balor gets injured one time after that Seth Rollins SummerSlam match, right? He gets injured one time. He never gets to sniff the World Heavyweight Championship until years later. Seth Rollins gets injured in every single major feud. It could be the WrestleMania main event, and they'll still go back with Seth Rollins. It's called favoritism. I'm not saying that anybody's more deserving, but it's clearly favoritism. Every
But
single
who
time
cuts a
Seth
better
Rollins is
promo?
in every time
Who
he's in a
cuts a
major
better
feud,
promo? Who can sell matches? It's definitely
he
not
gets
Pinn
injured.
Balor,
But he gets injured though. He
but
gets
it's definitely
injured.
not Pinn Balor.
But here's the deal: Finn Balor got injured one
Who
time. It
who
took him
who's the
years.
architect? Who's the architect?
It
Who's
took,
drawing the building?
and he
That's
gets injured
Seth
every single time
freaking
he's drawing the
Rollins.
building.
And
And
when
he
was the
gets
time? When
injured.
was the last time? When was the last time Finn Balor ever drew anything that
That
wasn't
yo,
NXT?
but yeah, and he was cooking down there, and that's how they presented him. That's
So
how they
put him back in
presented him.
NXT. Put him back in NXT, or he could go to AEW.
They don't need.
He could
He doesn't need to
he
go
could
back.
either go back to the Black and Gold, or he could go to Bullet Club Gold.
I don't think he should go
That's
back down
it.
to
That's
NXT.
it.
I think
There's
they
nothing
should move
else.
away from the
There's
Judgment
nothing
Day. He
else.
should go babyface, and then you present him in that light. I'm not disagreeing with y'all
How
because
many times?
Finn Balor is one
How
of my
many times
favorite
has he
wrestlers.
been babyface? How many times have we had over Finn Balor already? That Balor Club is for everybody. How many times have we had that?
But Vince was booking it then. Vince was
Oh,
booking
but
it.
you don't even like this Booker. So what makes you think that anything's gonna change?
Okay, okay.
Triple H. Triple H.
Let's blame Vince for the first half, right? Triple
Because he
H took
did. Yo,
over. Triple H.
Vince
When
hosted
did
his shit
Triple H
mad
take
times.
over officially? Let's look that up, right?
Like 3 years ago
Two,
SummerSlam.
yeah,
It was
I
like
would
two to
say
three.
that.
It was like 2 to 3 years ago SummerSlam. But even then, Triple H wasn't fully in charge then. It wasn't really
Okay,
until
so
like,
he became in charge of booking July 2022. So that's SummerSlam, like
but
you
no,
said,
but
right?
AJ, you gotta remember, he wasn't even
That's
fully
in the
in
middle of
charge
the
because
tribal chief era, right?
Vince was still there.
No, Vince wasn't there.
We remember we found out that Vince made the call for Cody to lose.
But you're still talking within 2 to 3 months he was officially gone. After that, so that doesn't even really count. Triple H was already in that chair. Let's 2022 Judgment Day. Let's see what they was doing.
To your
July,
point, I
right?
think Finn Balor needs to get out of the Judgment Day and they need to turn him face for him to be a credible and believable character. I agree with you. He is not believable. It was a good match, but nobody honestly believed
The
that
only way
Finn Balor
Penn
was going to
Balor's
win.
gonna get over is
So
if
look,
him and JD McDonough team up with David Finley and create an Irish stable to face the Judgment Day. That's the only way, but it's not
Maybe,
gonna happen.
yeah, yeah, because yo, they've been running. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like the Judgment Day,
but
but I
look
think they've been running
look at
this
the context, right?
story for too long. Like,
In July 2022, and this is the last Raw of July. So let's say Triple H is starting the transition now. Dom Mysterio wasn't even in the group yet. He's fighting the Mysterios. So now let's look at all the progress Dom has, who's been technically a side act in the group, and the evolution he's had, the evolution JD's had, the evolution Liv Morgan, Rhea, Damien, becoming a champion after Judgment Day.
I mean,
Everyone has
guys,
evolved
again,
except for him. Why
this is
is
all going
that?
to go back to the same thing. This is all going to go back to the same thing. Who's booking it? It's always going to go back to that. That's how they
But
want to present them. Like, it's like
he was being
that's how they
booked
want to present them.
before this
I don't
point
know
in
why they're
time.
shitting on Finn Balor. I don't
Before this point
know.
in time, he's been booked terribly like 5 years prior to 2022. Because what he got here in like 17, right?
Yeah, he started off super hot,
Start off super hot. Then the
got
back
injured.
end of the 5 years after 2022, about 4 years after, you're still being booked fucking terribly. either somebody back there doesn't believe in Finn Balor's promo work,
Michael Hayes.
or like fuck
Because
kayfabe, like fuck kayfabe. Being realistic, somebody back there hates this man's promo work. They just admire his in ring ability and the appeal that fans like him. But other than that, they don't believe in this man. And that's
because
the point.
not a fact.
That's the
Because when
real
you went
point.
down
They
to
do not
NXT,
believe in this man. And my anger, my kayfabe anger is at Finn Balor. But realistically, somebody hates this man backstage. They respect him enough to keep him around. But why insult the fans? Like, this is why I give the fans credit. If they were dead at any point in this show, this was the point. Because I'm at home on my phone, like, damn, they having a fucking great match. But we know CM Punk gonna win. This man ain't winning. This is Pinn Balor. This is Pinn. It's sad. It's sad at this point. And sadly, let's transition into the men's chamber. It's happening to LA Knight. It's starting to
Wait,
happen
wait.
to LA Knight
There's something that happened to both of them too. Penn and LA Knight. They both slipped on the same turnbuckle.
in the same.
Now,
Yeah.
to me, that's a conspiracy that they all falling for grace.
God damn it.
I
Or
mean,
for some reason, I don't know why in between the matches they're not having somebody come down and wipe the ring ropes down because shit gets super duper sweaty. That's like standard across like all wrestling matches. That's crazy. I mean, but then again, it could have gotten sweaty, in between. Uh, what happened to LA Knight? We can't blame that on booking because we have seen from Unreal and from the situation at Elimination Chamber last night. Like, listen, wrestling, mistakes happen, but how you handle it also says a lot about the situation. And
your
what
boy
I don't
botched
think it was.
walking in the chamber.
I don't think it was a big deal him slipping on the rope because that shit is yeah, he does it 1,000 times. You know what? Sometimes you slip. I don't think it was a big deal.
Slipping on the
I
rope is
think
okay,
how,
right?
how he handled it was just I don't think it was really good. He kind of almost highlighted his mistake. Bro, go your ass back up there, climb back up there and hit the spot like you were supposed to. Just like back in Money in the Bank, do the fucking spot like you were supposed to. Like what are we doing? Do what you're
Your
supposed to
man's
do.
can't walk into a chamber correctly. He
I
almost
mean,
banged into the glass walking
I
in.
mean
Is
that could
his
happen.
nerves rattled that these things keep happening to him? But that
Maybe.
happens. That happens to the best of people. So I'm not going to judge him for
Yeah.
that. But he's starting to fall into the same category as Finn Balor, bro. How many years are they going to drag the possibility of him winning? And it's not just them. Sami Zayn is another one. I no longer believe in Sami Zayn. And I don't want this. It might happen today. Shit, no more. Them three should make it might happen stable. Where they might beat your ass because they tired. It might happen to you. We taking your titles, it might happen. Hair them bums up. Something gotta give, bro. I'm really sick and tired of the friendship storyline. I'm really sick and tired
Listen, every
of
single
of this fucking they might, but they're not ever going to. I
that's
get
the woman that's the
we
woman
I get
storyline.
that we're gonna have the
That's the
Roddy
woman storyline.
Pipers. I get that we're gonna have the Jake the Snakes and the people that were legends that never won the big one. But stop acting like he's going to. Stop putting them in positions before the biggest event of the entire year as a pit stop before what we really want to see. Instead, you could have been, yo, Gunther, what are you actually doing this month? Shit. You just been cutting promos. You just been pissing off AJ Styles fans, even though you retired him 3 weeks ago, and he's not coming back, and it's not leading to a
I'm gonna
match, and it's not leading to WrestleMania. So what are you doing? Hey,
I'm gonna
CM
go
Punk
ahead.
is
I'm
just
I'm
filling
gonna
his
go ahead and
card
go
up
on record.
with people we're never gonna believe is gonna win. How about you fight him instead? Because then the fans will probably be like, yo, Gunther might win and steal this match away from CM Punk. And it would make sense. Because he's been dominating. No, we don't get that. Instead, hey Gunther, you want the night off? Want the night off? Finn Balor's taking a spot for somebody who's actually believable,
Oh man.
right?
Well, again, I will ask the question: who is booking this crap? So we were talking about the main
We at the
event
men's
of the
chamber.
chamber.
We at the men's chamber.
Shout out to Hunter and his whole team.
Hashtag
So
bring El Generico to AAA.
generico. So in the men's chamber, we got Cody
Fact.
Rhodes, Randy Orton, Trick Williams with the lemon pepper steppers. This bouncy ass Javon Evans, Logan Paul, and LA Never Gonna Win Night. Um, what you guys think about it?
I just want to say that Logan Paul is completely humble and that he got 3 eliminations. He's the future GOAT, already a Hall of Fame uh worthy person, and he's doing a good job of heading into the WrestleMania to face whoever it is that he's gonna face, but we're gonna success that.
So I
My
want to
bad.
just mention
I'm
how
hearing his music in my. I'm hearing his
Cody
music in my.
Rhodes
Humble.
In my head.
Cody Rhodes be code switching in the middle of matches. Once he realized the brothers was getting eliminated, he took the Raheem off his name so he could last to the end of the match. I don't know who else peeped it, but
That's
Logan Paul
crazy.
was eliminating everybody. Once he saw Logan Paul was eliminating everybody, he was like, "I am not Raheem. I
Yo,
am
shout out to
Otis
Logan Paul.
Jonathan Rhodes right now. I need to make it to
Shout
the
out to
end."
Logan Paul. Shout out to Logan Paul who's doing his thing in this match, yo. Logan
I'm
The
Paul
sorry,
only
but
definitely.
guy, the only guy with a true Titantron, mind you, the only
yo,
guy
So
with
we
a
got to
true.
talk about.
the
So we
lemon
got to
pepper
talk about
stepper should have
how.
made it to the end.
Hold up. We
That's
got
all
to
I'm
talk about
saying.
how the weird masked men started popping up out of nowhere, which was just really a red herring, which is really a diversion for at the end for another masked man to pop up. You know what I'm saying? Hit the stomp. And it was a reveal that Seth Rollins had came back. What did you guys think about Seth Rollins coming back? Did you know it was gonna be Seth Rollins? Did you think it was gonna be somebody else?
So this is the spot that I was mentioning a little earlier in the show where I felt like they swerved things and they did things that were correct that they kind of fixed with all the injuries and all the things that's happening to the Vision. First, Seth Rollins gets injured, then Braun Breaker steps up. Braun gets injured, then Bronson Reed steps up, and he's the guy who's supposed to be in the shape match. He gets injured, so the whole, you know, besides what we're talking about with Danhausen, the big uproar was, oh, what about this masked man thing? Like which also Danhausen should have came out in the chamber and been like, the Vision is cursed, and that's why everything's been happening. People probably would have enjoyed it more. But I felt like they remedied the story because that random masked man on SmackDown was like, who the fuck is this guy? Then they did that again, like, who the fuck is this guy again? And then the Seth Rollins, you redeem it. Now it's like, okay, it could have been anybody, regardless
Right,
of
right.
where we thought the story was going or the injuries preventing the outcome. But in reality, I feel sorry for Braun Breaker. I feel sorry for Bronson Reed. But Logan Paul's the better match.
It is.
Who's
It's gonna be a
matching
better match.
Seth Rollins athletically? Like, yeah, a crazy spear, the fastest spear you ever seen, probably. But bro, Logan Paul could literally do anything in a match. So just somebody as creative as Seth Rollins in the ring, you can make this guy do any spot. So I'm expecting like a fucking crazy showdown between the two, and I think probably is like the better the better option came out of a bad situation.
Mm.
Because if I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
see Braun Breaker in a spot at WrestleMania, I kind of wanted to see him elevated, probably involved in the title or something like that,
right.
getting some gold somehow.
So I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like Braun Breaker. I think if it wasn't for injuries, Braun Breaker would have been facing CM Punk at WrestleMania. Seth would have been
probably.
facing Bronson, and Logan Paul would have been facing Bad Bunny. That's how it was originally planned out. Injuries happened. Injuries happened. Who's left to fight, have to face
Nah, I ain't
Seth?
gonna hold you.
It wasn't
It
gonna. It
was
wasn't gonna be Austin. It wasn't gonna be Austin because Austin's gonna be the one that cost the Vision the match at WrestleMania. So now it's
if
gonna
they
be
officially
Logan
had Bad
Paul.
Bunny on the hook, that they would still work that in. If they officially had Bad Bunny on the hook for a match at WrestleMania, they would
But who's
shoehorn
he
that
gonna face? Who's
They
he
would
gonna face that
find
makes logically? No, it
somebody,
doesn't. No, no,
somebody.
because Logan Paul was the only person. Because Logan Paul's been fighting for that match for 2 years. He was trying. At the Super
They
Bowl
were
before the
teasing
Super
it.
Bowl. He was
They
hyping it
they
up.
were teasing it
He was
online like a
hyping
week
it
or two
up.
ago.
He was hyping
Yeah,
it up. Logan Paul was hyping up Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. And then next thing you know, Braun's injured. Bronson's injured. Both Brons is injured. So it's like, who's left in the division that's not Austin Aries? Because Austin Aries is gonna come back
Austin
and
Theory,
prove that he's one of. Austin Theory is with Seth. He's gonna cost Logan Paul's the match now. Who's left? Logan Paul. That's
I
that's the
still
way
think
that's
that
the
might
way it's supposed
happen
to
too.
tumble.
That Austin Theory's still gonna turn on the Vision because he's wearing
And then
Seth Rollins shorts and Seth Rollins pants and like
I
Seth
mean,
Rollins style gloves and like
he might. There ain't really too much of division to turn on. It's just gonna, there's gonna be two versus one. It's no
it's
matter.
sad because this group had the potential to be like one of the biggest powerhouse groups,
It was
and
supposed
just
to
in a
be. It was
short
supposed
time, a
to be.
year, they just crumbled like mania to mania. You guys became a thing the night after mania. We're a month and less than a month and a half out from mania, and you guys are crumbled almost. So the
And
final nail in
that
the
was my
coffin will
point. We
probably be
saying,
at mania.
yeah, yeah, it was, yeah.
But
But
the actual match
here we are.
itself, the men's chamber, I felt like it was great.
Shout out to
Um,
Randy Orton.
I thought it was gonna be Cody Rhodes, the clear winner. And I'm glad that it wasn't a clear win. That was great. I'm at the point where I understand Cody Rhodes' position. I respect Cody Rhodes' position, but I don't want to see him force fed all the time. As the guy who's going
Yeah.
to be the main event, as the guy who's the next champion, or the guy who's running up as champion. Like, we need to get
Well,
back to the
if the
cycles where we're getting more people touching that belt or possibly touching that belt. And I feel like,
if the rumor mill is true, he actually petitioned to lose the WWE Championship to Drew McIntyre. So he probably, like, he knows. He's smart. He's a wrestling fan. He knows. He knows when to pivot. He knows
yeah,
when to switch
so
up.
continue pivoting. Because I
Right.
don't honestly, I don't want to see Cody Rhodes as a world champion anytime soon.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it right now.
And if he
He doesn't need
does,
it.
he needs a change of atmosphere. Go to Raw, go after the world championship. You know, then it'd be different. But I
Yeah.
think the Cody Rhodes train, as far as the main guy, kind of run his course. Let's let somebody else step
Yeah.
up. Let's let somebody else do it. Randy Orton
All right.
getting the win told me one or two things. Either we're getting number 15, or the way they ended it, with the Drew McIntyre coming in the chamber after the Max Man, uh, being revealed as Seth. Drew comes in, hits Cody with the title. Orton ends up RKOing Drew. Drew stumbles to his feet, gets hit with a crossroads, instantly RKO to Cody. Orton wins.
1, 2, 3.
This opens up the possibility of us finally getting that one-on-one with Randy and Cody a lot
They've been
sooner.
teasing it forever.
Yeah, a lot
Like,
sooner than later. But now it makes more sense for this multi-man match that they've been rumoring about. So my
yeah.
expectation is more than likely we'll get Drew, Orton, Cody, and Jacob Fatu, and possibly Aleister Black. So if that's the case, I need this WrestleMania to give us that surprise new face of the company. We're going with a new direction. We're gonna try things. Jacob needs to win, or
Yeah.
it needs to be
carrying
Aleister
cross.
Black.
I mean, yeah, Alistair Black. My bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
Alistair
My
Alistair.
Black.
bad.
There you
I
go.
keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Sorry.
Alistair
Because they're so
Cross. I mean,
inconsistent.
Carrying Black. I mean,
Right,
Malachi.
right, 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 right.
Anyways, but we
Scarlet
it's a
Vega.
perfect
Sorry,
opportunity
sorry.
to get a new face winning while keeping Drew strong, while being able to keep Orton strong, while being able to keep um Cody strong. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see
I
over the
like it.
next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably gonna be a multi-man match, and if it is multi-man match, yeah, let's go in another direction. It's not hot potato in a match, but I think since the Tribal Chief had his 4 year run, there's been this feel like this need, this necessity to have these overly long title runs, and we don't always need that. Sometimes it's good. Like Punk is on a great run, you know what I'm saying? But like we don't need these year long. Like it's okay, it's okay. We can pass this. We can pass the strap on. So yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, that was the chamber. Um, I think it was more highs than lows. I think the fans gotta really just start enjoying what they see. Like, stop letting expectations dictate what the fuck is deemable to enjoy. Like, that's really what it
Well,
comes down to.
two things can be true at the same time. I do think that fans. I think fans definitely have to. It's not fair to any
The
product
booking isn't
to.
perfect.
For the
At no
booking
point
is
are
not
we
perfect.
alluding that the booking is perfect. Not at all. But
Yeah, you can't get upset for your own fantasy booking not
you can't
being
get upset for your
fulfilled.
own fantasy booking. You can't. You
And
really can't.
and sometimes WWE, I mean, I don't think it was a bad pay per view by any means. Just the pacing. Honestly, that's my pacing. I'm always gonna say that with it. Like how we watch AAA. I understand we're comparing an hour show to a 3 hour show. For goodness gracious, please with your pacing. Even with this PLE, so much time in between all these ad breaks. I understand you gotta ad breaks, but can we pace it a different way? It feels like it's
Whatever
just
happened to backstage segments?
something. Can we break it up in a
You
different
have to
way?
pay for
Right?
premium to
Some
see them.
goodness
You have to pay for
gracious.
premium, whatever premium service, Netflix if you're watching it there, or ESPN, whatever. You have to pay for the premium service to
Oh,
not get commercials and get the actual promos. Yes, that's what's
that's
happening.
what it is. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it feels like it's
If
just
they're
like a
doing
bunch of.
promos at all, that's why you're not seeing them because they used
Okay.
to go on during the commercial segments. And if you pay for premium, you see what's happening in the stadium. And if you don't pay, you see those little do do do. We'll be right back. Do do do.
Right.
Like that's all you'll
Yeah,
see.
because
So
it's like this is like an ad break that happens to have wrestling
yeah,
matches.
but
But why would I pay premium just to see people talk? For
Because
that, you just put them in the you just put that shit on the
well,
pre-show
premium
then.
is you just
And
want
then
to
I don't
avoid
want to.
commercials.
And then I don't want to see three people at the beginning of the show talk for 2 hours. I could watch my show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
But
any other highlights for the week that you guys want to mention, or we pretty much wrapped up
yo,
on the
honestly,
Elimination Chamber and everything coming out of this weekend WWE?
this is gonna almost sound like a dig, but it's not. Like honestly, yo, AEW, in my opinion, has been putting on such good matches and shit like that. It's not boring, but it's just like the shit just been from in my opinion, it's just been so good. It's just been like, yeah, it's fucking watch it. Go watch good wrestling. Go watch it. Like I'm not gonna I can't sit here and break the whole shit down for you. Go watch it. It's really good fucking matches. It's like almost like I feel like it's almost boring. Because it's just like I can't like critique it the way I want to. It's just like, yo, just go watch it. It's really good shit. I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, but it's just like
Well,
it's storyline.
it's like
You
I
know what's
kind
going
of
on next week. You know what's going on in Revolution. It's good matches. Go watch it.
yeah, it's kind of like I said on the solo pod I did. AEW is that sport space. We're not expecting too much story. Don't expect greatness out of the story. We might get our spots here and there with a good story, but it's all about the in ring wrestling, where WWE is mostly about the story that they're telling. So, I just wish for a day that Tony Khan in particular can kind of marry the two.